Welcome back to episode 23 of our Let's Play. If you missed the last episode, we expanded the industrial district of Winchester with a port, a stockyard, and more dry storage. Today we'll slow things down and focus on farming for the future with rolling hills of various crops. If you enjoy the video, please consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing, and hype the video if you think other people should discover this channel. Hypes are not available everywhere, so no worries if you can't. If you don't know what to comment today, comment Farmer Beanin' or leave an emoji for the sake of engagement. Let's play Minecraft. And welcome back, everybody, to our Let's Play. I hope you enjoyed the hardcore episode this weekend, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Today, we are going to continue working in this area just a little bit. I got a lot of comments for a shipyard and some boat-related items for this area, so I think we'll be doing that at some point. I'm not 100% sure, but I think we can also transform this portion right here into a boat launch of sorts. So hopefully we can take care of that. But before we got started on this, I wanted to break up the scenery and just make a little change in where we're building, because I wanted to work on the mega farm out here since the city is going to be focused around agriculture. As you can see, I've also been digging away at some of, well, the quarry. You know, we've just been digging more, so now you can see it just a little more dug out, and we've got more materials to help us, you know, build Winchester, because all of the materials from this area will probably end up on that hill in a certain area or time span. Yeah, in a certain time span, that's what I want. But today I think we're gonna start with a lovely farm over here. Now, I did do some brief location scouting in the last few episodes, I think, and I think the perfect spot for this farm would be somewhere up around here or here. I know I said here or here and was just looking at the ground, but I want it to be in a relatively flat spot, and I think this would be a good spot. But I think, ooh, that's a big hill, or not a big hill, a big hole. But I think we'll be able to either build it out right here, although this isn't that much land, or we can just go up a few blocks and we can build our hillside farm up here. Let me see where it looks to be nice and flat. Okay. Well, we can also do hills in our farm, because, you know, farms in real life are not completely flat. You know, it's a little easier for crop retention if we have a farm that's just like, you know, not torn up. Now, that's a very gentle slope, and it's decently far outside of the Winchester city limits. But I think for now, what we can do is we can work with this area down here, just because it's close enough, but it's not too flat and it's not too hilly. You can see Winchester from here. It's not too impractical to get our items from here down to the port, which is going to be important. And yes, I know there is a large trail off right here, or not trail off, but cliff, so we'll have to figure that out. But I'm thinking, sorry about that, but I'm thinking we take a pathway that goes right through here and just kind of works its way around, and then we prepare this area for some fields and maybe some crops. Well, yes, crops, but fields, maybe a tree or two, and then we'll have like a farmhouse like up on that hill or something. So let's get into it today. And first we're going to start with just preparing the area. I think I just want to go ahead and lawn mow all of this, and then also do some terraforming to start. So let me go get some items, and then we can begin on our work. Now, I'm planning on this being our farm plateau area. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mow the lawn with some water, and we can go ahead and begin planning out our pathway. I think the flow for today's episode will be pathway, farmhouse with a question mark, if I feel like doing that, and then the shipyard over there. We need to add some ships to that one area, so we'll be spending some time there. And let's see, this water isn't going to go very far, is it? Nope. It's just going to sit there and yep, go right down the hill. That's fine. So I guess for here I can just do this. There we go. And then, of course, we'll just continue mowing the lawn here. So let me just take care of this real quick, and then we'll start with the terraforming of the land. So now I think we've got a good base to go off of, and we can start filling in some of these little pothole-ish areas. I think the best thing for us in this area will be to try and make this terrain just a little more gentle. You can see how it's like a little jagged and a little square at times. So I think we can just go like this, pull this back a little, do some light terraforming so that it's not so crazy and so Minecrafty. You know, I'm not really a huge fan of when you have too many cliff faces like this. I know in some areas of Minecraft it is one of those things that's like you need to have it sometimes. Oh, and look, we've got some buddies. But I think that it's good to have, you know, just some round, light, rolling hills out here. We'll have to figure out what to do for the other areas, because I am planning on putting some areas that have some more elevation change in them. Nothing too crazy, like maybe at a push up here, you know, we'll have the farm go up to. The only reason is, you know, we get mobs crawling on the farm area, and so when that happens, it can get a little messy in terms of them messing up our farm yield, them messing up some areas like that. So I try to mitigate that where I can, and mostly I do that with slabs. I try to achieve that with slabs and lighting, so hopefully that works. But you can't really get them all fixed. You can't really plan for them all. I'm thinking once we fill this portion out, this is going to be the main farm area. You know, this will be where most of our fields are, and then we'll just have like the house up through there. And we'll first have to make our pathway, because that is going to be a pivotal portion. Well, not pivotal portion, but that is going to be a very important part in the build, because it's going to decide where our farms are sitting. But I'm thinking maybe we can do something similar to the tree farm path. Yeah, you know, the pathway that we have up there. I like how that looks, and I think that'll be kind of what I'm aiming for. There we go. And I think for the most part, this area is starting to fill out a little better. We just have 2 or 3 more spots to fill in with some dirt. And I guess I'm not sure if I want to fill in back there just yet, because I don't know where our farm, like our fields, are going to be just yet. So we'll hold off on that here. We can pull this back a little bit because it's kind of weird. Oh, and there's a few caves over here that I still need to do. Okay, well, we'll just continue terraforming. Of course it's raining. It's never not raining in this game for me. But I was looking at this land over here, and I was thinking this is kind of hostile for path building. I mean, that's just a massive hole. I think, is there just like a little loop down here, or like a land bridge of sorts? Yes. Okay, it looks like there is. So I have 2 options. We can go down the hill and around the shore when it comes to path, blocks and then, you know, hook up around the coastline with our path, or we can go up the hill and connect to that village. I think we'll actually end up having a split or a fork in the road here, but we'll just need to make sure that we're paying attention to what we're doing. And I think I'm going to go with the 5 wide path here. That seems like a pretty good design that we've laid out. And then here, I'm just going to make this slightly more robust in terms of just coverage, because I want to have the path as close to the wall, or not the wall, but the shore as I can, without having to build retaining walls on the other side of the path. It just helps. It makes everything so much easier. You know, you saw our path over there where we have a ton of just hanging pathways. I want to avoid that this time. I want to try and have a little bit more natural of an area. And then we'll just put these like so. Good. And then maybe just smooth this out ever so slightly. I know. I'm kind of nitpicking right now, but this is all part of the process of terraforming. There we go. And now we can begin work with our path. Now for the path, again, I did say I wanted to do a 5 wide path. So, oh, good grief. Okay, is it a thunderstorm? Okay, it is. Let me sleep real quick. But I want to do a 5 wide path, and I want it to be, let's see, it's going to come from right here and then kind of go diagonally here. Is this 5 right here? No, that's 4. Actually, what we could do is we could start it right here, and that's 5, and then do 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. And then, let's see. This is where we'll have our other path, and I think I'm going to do the 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 1, and 1, 2 for our path. So we'll have these diagonal sections, and that way everything can look nice. So let's continue on with this. I don't think I'm going to go into time-lapse mode. Let's see. Okay, this is... Oh, you know what I did wrong with this one? I didn't do my usual thing. So what I usually do is I go in one, and that's what I didn't do here. So we'll do that, and then it's 1, 2, and then... Let's see. There we go. It should be like this. And then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Oh my gosh. And then we'll copy this out here. Again, I think we're going to go with another diagonal here. So we'll just do another 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. And then see here how it's just slightly doing a diagonal curve. And I'm not sure if I'm going to replace this with coarse dirt blocks. I think I'm going to stick with path blocks for traveling. And then we can do coarse dirt blocks like around more of our main build. So this is where the farm fields will probably start. And then, you know, we'll just have like our coastal pathway that goes down here, and then this will all be fields in the future. Again, kind of picking a weird spot for what's going to happen with the farm, but we'll see how the build goes. But let me just go ahead and continue on with my path, and then we'll be a-okay to continue with our build. And let's see, did I do that correctly? I did. Okay, cool. So then it'll be another... Oh, did I did not do that. Dang it. Okay, I'm messing this up. Now this spot here looks a little weird because it's just the area that it drops down. It should look fine from above, and in the grand scheme of things, it'll look fine. But right now, again, I'm just sticking with that diagonal here as much as I can, because that's really where we're going to be doing most of our work. And then of course I can add some smaller fields right here with some crops. That'll be fine for me. Again, really just want to make sure we get this path laid out. And I guess right here we can actually just go straight from this area because, well, we can save on some real estate there. So that seems good to me. We'll just follow this and make sure we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then just carrying out our usual thing here. I might, actually, I'll just try and go straight here because there's no point in having it needlessly curve while we're farming or just in a farming area because I want to have the most real estate possible that we can. Oh, nope, that's, again, shovel's way too powerful still. Let's see, is this still 5 wide? Yes, it is. And then we'll just chop down these trees because the trees will actually... where's my axe? Oh, it got moved. Okay. But we'll chop down these trees because these are going to get in our way, and we'll need these for the house eventually. And I think I'll leave that one because I would like some trees on the coastline here. I'm really just kind of clearing a path. I might, because this is floating, I'll have to clear this one. Okay, yeah, I'll just have to clear this whole bunch right here. So there's that. And that should clear this. But we're going to leave the other ones that are sitting on this hillside because I do want to leave some trees, you know? I do want it to be wooded relatively, and I want it to look nice. So these fields are going to be a little larger than, you know, what we usually do. Think the season 11 world, the original Chamberton world. That's what we'll kind of be working with the farm here. Why does it keep double pressing? That's annoying. So we'll just put this and mow the leaves here. I'll probably have to return to my main house because we'll need some food here in a minute. But I just want to get this stuff, and then we can make some more bone meal. Get this stuff taken care of. And I think I'll fill this in just a little bit more because it doesn't really make sense to have this weird landform going on. And then we can build our fork in the road right up around here. And I'll show you guys how I do that when it comes to paths. This one will be a little interesting because it won't be a perfectly, you know, perpendicular angle. It'll be more of this goes into a curve up there, and then this one just continues on straight down here. So let's get this straightaway sorted out, and then we can start working on the curve that goes up there. Right. So it's going to be pretty simple, I think. We're really just going to join a new modified version of our little path system that we use. So what I'm going to do here is instead of the 1-2 diagonal that we do here, I'm going to flip it and do 2 sections of 1 and then 1 section of 2. And I think that'll give us the desired look. So here we'll start with this one right here, and then we can do 2 right here, and then another 1 right here. And let's see, that's 4. Okay. And then maybe another 1 right there. Does that look like it'll help? Maybe. I don't like how oh, what's the word for it? Actually, there we go. And then this, you know what? That could be fine. And then from here, I think we can just do. But you know what? I kind of like the 1-2 and then 1-1. So we'll try 1, and then here's our 2, and then 1. 1. And the reason I'm doing this is because it gives us a sharper angle to work with, and it's still 5 wide. So it kind of looks like it's curving up, and then, you know, it goes into here. I could also bring this out just ever so slightly, make it look like, no. I don't know how I feel about this. I might have to redesign it. Okay, let's try this again. So I think the thing that I'm aiming for is I want it to be just a little more sharper, a little more sharp. So what if I tried our normal diagonal? And that one would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How does that look? Because it's like I want to follow this angle. And I know the obvious answer is just, oh, well, you know, go ahead and build this out and then make it just a perfect diagonal, but that doesn't really feel right here. And so I guess in this case I'm going to go ahead and do a turn, maybe? Well, actually, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just do another diagonal here because we're kind of going out this area and this will be mostly farmland. I think that will help me. So let's try that out. I think that'll be okay. Maybe I can just add a little bit extra of a curve here. So maybe we'll do something like this. That way it just kind of looks like these pathways are joining where they need to. And I think that'll be okay. Now, here I want to try, actually, no, I think this is a good direction because overall there's a village up here. I think you can see the roof right there. And we got to follow this angle anyway because we're going to have to wrap up around here. But if we want to get to this village, I think that this general line is going to be very easy to follow. So contrary to what my thinking center is telling me, I think we'll be fine if we stick with this. And then we can plant the fields around this general area, you know, little flat areas where we can fit them in. Okay, and I'm thinking for right here, we can bring the pathway down a little bit. And I think it's going to have to pretty much stick. Yeah, it's going to have to stay relatively straight. But we can make sure that this hillside becomes a little farming field because we'll need pretty much all the space we can get. And if we just pull this back and make it a little more gentle, then it would be more believable as like a rolling farm hill. And that's kind of the look I'm going for here. So we'll just eliminate some of this. And then we'll take our dirt and bring this out just a little bit to make it have that nice rolling hill effect. And again, I'm going to do the thing I usually do where it's one block before it goes out and in. That way we can have something that looks nice and it looks just, it always, at least to me, it always looks a little smoother. And so we have something like that. And then we'll just kind of, yeah, we can bring, actually, yeah, we can just bring this out just a little bit more. And then that can be, well, this can be our main field, but I would also like to have a hillside element to this. So let's do this. And then we can start bringing it in once we get a little bit more dirt. I do need a terraform up here a little bit, so we can take care of that. That's just going to be this. You know, just making it nice and rolling to a degree. Nothing too sharp or too edgy. There we go. Good. Try and stick with the flow of the hill, you know. I think that's looking fine. And we can have our house like up there or something along the lines of that. This whole area will be our farm. And then we'll just do, let's take this away. There we go. I think that looks good. And then we'll just do the same thing down to this hill. And then we'll make it nice and terraformed and rolling. And then even here too, I can just pull this back because it looks a little janky, if I'm being honest. And that way we also don't have to worry about too much of a drop off here. I think that looks good. We're going to leave that more natural. This will continue down straight here, and then we'll just pull this back just a little bit and make it ever so slightly less angular. So we've got this area looking quite nice. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. I think we'll start the actual farm fields just right around here and then follow this hill line. So what we can do is just clear this out a little bit. This is not going to be farmland. And then we'll just kind of shape the farmland right here so that we have an easy going terrain. And actually, I think what I'm going to do here is just a little bit of land terraforming to bring this in, and so we don't have to worry about that whole area. And if we wanted to, you know, we could put some items here that we don't use a lot of, like maybe pumpkins or something, but I was thinking that this is probably fine. You know, we're mainly going for volume here, not just not volume. Ah, crap. I'm all out of dirt. Oh, well, I think this is looking a little bit better. That way, we don't have to worry about this wall and having to make it super nice, because this area will have plenty of buffer between that and zombies and mobs just falling on it. This also will give us a nice buffer. Well, because, like, you can't really get too many crops growing right here. But then again, I feel like our biggest one is going to be wheat. And then from there, it's going to be just something, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard when you do multi-level farms, but it looks so good, you know? So we'll have to try it out. But we've got the terraforming done. Let's make sure we can get our farming done here and actually get to building and make this area look really nice. I think this side will have wheat, and then maybe up here, or maybe this side down here will have carrots and potatoes. Up here we'll have wheat, and then over here we can have like beetroots or something. And then we'll think of a new area to have, or a new spot to have some pumpkins and melons, because I'm going to want to grow a bit of those. I can't get over how good this looks. I like this. You know, I like adding details. I like having a world that builds on itself. This is who I really am. I am a builder in Minecraft through and through, as you can see. Now that I have the time to actually just plan things out and build them correctly, I don't have to worry about fitting everything into one live session. This is what you get when I'm allowed to do that. So we'll keep hardcore as hardcore. Nice raw unedited gameplay, and that's not safe. Wow. Okay. Here, that's not safe at all. There you guys go. I'm sorry about that. I should really, whatever. I should make a door for them, but realistically, they'll be okay in the long run, as long as our mending guy isn't hurt. You know what? I might actually just go ahead and put a fence gate up here real quick. You know, no, we'll wait until dark so that they can be up in their little area. All right, now that it's dark and they should all be in their house, I'm just gonna put a fence gate right in front of the door so that they can't get berated by zombies. Oh no! There. Okay, good. Okay, we'll have to wait for it to be completely dark, because I think there's one straggler. Yep. Come on, get in. This is for your safety, remember. Come on. There you go. Now, if I was a zombie, I don't think they could get to the door here. So that's good. So hopefully that helps. And now we can begin the fun part of lining all of these hills with wood slabs and then turning this into farmland. So I'm going to run a time lapse for this because it's pretty tedious and anyone can do it. And I want to give you a bird's eye view of the shape we're going. And then, of course, after I will kind of explain some of the things that I did. But that stuff is tedious. That took too long in the last time we did it. And we're getting close to time for the next section that I want to cover. So I really don't want to focus too much on the farmland. That's the easy part. I would like to focus on the actual building of over there and over here. And that's what I call a diamond hoe shredder. Now, it's not perfect, but I have gone ahead and put some water under here to take care of these little areas, and then some water up under there to take care of those areas. Over here, I think I might actually leave at least one row right here for just some fencing and, something semi-nice right here. I'm not sure what I'll put there. I'll probably do what I've been doing and then just hide a wooden slab like that so that doesn't really interfere with it too much. When you have these level changes, it can be a little bit hard to deal with, but you can find ways around it. And then over here, it's just going to be beetroots and stuff like that. I think what we'll do is this level will be carrots and potatoes. That level up there will be wheat, and then that over there will be beetroot. I'm pretty sure that's the main thing that we can farm. Outside of that, we'll make separate areas for things like sugarcane, bamboo, and then pumpkins and melons, because this will be mostly for ground crops. And then outside of that, we'll figure out what we can do with that. But clearly, I need to go recharge my hoe, so we'll go take care of that, and then I will rejoin you here in a split second. So here we are, back after some time. I've got my tools repaired because we needed it, and now we can return back to the field. Now, I've gone ahead. Wait, did I bring it with me? Oh, crap, hold on. I need to make sure I brought it with me. Wait, let me check. Okay, yeah, I didn't. I need my seeds so that we can start planting. I've been looking at the field and just kind of where we're... I'll wait. Thank you. But I've been looking at the field and just kind of where we've been working. And I think that we'll be fine to add another layer up in that area that I was kind of avoiding, because it's not going to be anything that's like, I don't know, too hard to avoid, but it is something that I want to make easy. Actually, wait, we have all this stuff over at the other house. Well, that doesn't matter. But I'd like to expand into that top area because I was thinking about the layout while I was editing the time lapse, and I think we can really narrow down... Obnoxious. But I think we can really narrow down the area that we're working with and make it palatable and just easy for us to build on. I don't think there will be too many monsters or mobs that fall onto the crops up in that higher area. But we'll just have to see. And let's see, I should have some beetroot seeds down here. I also switched my armor because I was able to add mending to my boots. So on my boots, at least, I have mending. And now I also have mending on the protection 4 set. So I'm picking this because feather falling. So that's kind of the main drive behind this. And there we go. There's our beetroots. And then we've got some more wheat in here. And we've got plenty of beetroot seeds, pumpkin seeds, wheat seeds. That's perfect because we're gonna need a lot more than we think. And these carrots we can bring over with us, and we'll start with that as our general area. Now, in the farming district / just this main farm, I don't think I'm going to do any automatic farms, although I will do some automatic farms in the Outdo Bay area. The reason I'm doing that is because, well, this side, you know, it's supposed to be a little less technologically advanced than Outdo Bay, but we're still going to output the same yield. It's going to be closer to, you know, just, well, the time the actual Winchester was starting out. Not that, maybe a little further because we have like industrial areas. So it's going to be a mix of just the fantastical areas. And let's see. Okay, we can start by planting some of our wheat here. I still need to take care of these areas right here. So what I was thinking is this could be like potatoes, this could be carrots, and then up here could be wheat. The one thing I want to make sure of is, well, I should probably check what we're doing with our villager over there. We can always get more trades, but I need to check which like trades he takes right now. So let me do that. Let's see. What do you take, mister? You take carrots, and I have traded with you, so that's good. So I think we'll do the most, well, it doesn't matter because we'll have multiple farmers eventually, but we'll have carrots be our main focus in this farm. So I think that middle tier is going to be carrots. So pretty much exactly what I had laid out. And this area is starting to look good. You know, it's weird how just some minor terraforming and flattening it out can really help, and also just removing the tall grass. Now, of course, we'll add details as we go along, but the main thing that I'm focused on today is making sure that we have some fields. Yes. Okay, that's just like a random area. So this middle section is going to be carrots, and I don't know why I did that. So this tier right here will just plant as carrots. This lower tier will plant as potatoes, and then this upper tier will be wheat. Now, it may not look like a lot for, I guess, surface area, but we are going to have a ton of wheat, carrots, and potatoes regardless, and then beetroot can be on that smaller tier over there. These are not really the farm fields or the fields that I would typically do. But again, because it's irregular in shape, we're actually making up a lot more area than we would with some squares. It's kind of like the shoreline debacle, you know? You can estimate miles of shoreline based on the grain that you get to. So you could argue that this is maybe 40 blocks of shoreline, but if you counted each pixel, it could balloon up to an even higher number. So that's kind of the thing that's going on here with our crop yields. At least in general, you know, I'm not going to claim to be an expert, but that's just the idea of how we're getting more crops, even though it looks like it's not a big area. I could be completely wrong about that, but who knows? All right, so now that's carrots completed. I'm not going to worry too much about not finishing them out right now because I can just replant as we go. We're going to move to potatoes down here. And then I think I'm going to switch to just making sure that these smaller areas have water and can be turned into farmland. I am going to leave just a little strip of something right here so that we can have maybe like a little farm style fence. I think that would be nice. But for the most part right here, we'll just have crops going around. I kind of like that look. The look of crops just lining the entire pathway. Some people would prefer a fence, and I know realistically you'd probably have a fence. But other times I prefer to do this. You know, kind of a fenceless farm, if you will. Oh, well, that's fun. Come here. Wow, that's a lot of them. I think I can take them off. Wow, I'm surprised. Ah, that's why. No protection on the chest plate. I was like, they're doing a lot of damage to me. I'm going to leave that sitting there because I really don't need bottles of Bad Omen. We're going to just head back over to our farm area. I may look like a bit of a porcupine, but at least we got most of them taken care of. No, we got all of them taken care of. See, I am going to have to really terraform this area out because oof, it's rough terrain, but I can kind of see some ideas that are starting to form in my head. I think the road will follow this ridge line, and then we can have like just a lower area down here. I know I said I wanted this cove to be like a shipyard or something similar to that, but I think plans change, and we'll put a shipyard over there like we talked about earlier in the video. And here I'm just going to add a little bit of a fence and some gaps in it because, you know, it's not a very put together fence. It's just part of our attempt at a fence, but we're going to mainly focus on just some spots like this, and then we'll harvest or make this area harvestable. And I'm going to match up with the area here so that we can place water and place slabs, and that way it won't be too interrupted. I think everything should be flowing correctly on this spot. So let's grab some water up here, and then we can see how it turns out. And then this top area, again, I'll have to fill in with dirt, and then we'll do the same treatment before moving on to the house that is, well, the farmhouse. The house that is for the farm. You mean the farmhouse being in? Yes, that is what I mean. And we're going to do just the wood for these ones because they don't have lamps on them, and that's fine with me, you know. The main part is anything that's not in the regular grid, I plan on using wood just because, you know, it makes it inconspicuous and it doesn't take away from the lamps themselves. I tried earlier to have a lamp up there, and I was like, you know, that's just gonna that's gonna annoy me. So we're sticking with this. Why are you 1, 2, 3, 4 okay, well, it looks like we just have to add another right here. That's fine, though that is kind of annoying, but what are you gonna do? Let me just run down here and grab some of this water. There we go. And of course I can add some lamps, or I guess I'll just add torches on the fence right here just because it makes it look nice. There we go. And then, nope, that's the wrong block. And then we'll just add this right here. And that should give us everything we need. Cool. And I can add some fences on that side, but who cares? Let me plant the rest of these potatoes, and then we can move on to some of the other segments that need our attention. So it looks like even with the slabs, I just had a zombie come over here and trample the crop. And it looks like it's just kind of variable with if it tramples your crops. I'm not too sure because, like, if I'm doing it right here repeatedly, there's nothing going on. But then, okay, yeah, see? Okay. So I guess it really doesn't matter. I guess this mitigates it, but it can still happen. So, well, I guess we're just going to have to make sure that our crops are aligned, or we just have a solid coverage for light. But it's kind of annoying, but what can you do? Especially when you have this many crops, 1 or 2 that get trampled or turned up, doesn't really matter. And I'm unsure if I fully, dang it. I'm unsure if I fully covered the method that I use here to just make sure that we have water and hydration to this land, but I think it's actually a pretty smart one. Basically, all I do is use my slabs and take the spot that would have our slabs normally and just fill it with water. So we have like little invisible streams under some of these areas that you can also see, like if you look closely, like right there where there's wood instead of dirt, those are slabs that are placed on the level like this. So we just fill this up with water, and man, I really need more water sources around here. I thought about doing a river going through here, but then I was like, no, we got limited crop space, and I think this would be fine for a large farm. But I've basically just done this on the edges, and I think it's a very useful method. Again, I'm not claiming to have discovered it, but it's a very useful method if you want to have irregular shaped farmland that doesn't match to a grid like that. You know, it's kind of like hidden lighting. You can hide water, but this is something that's probably very known across Minecraft. So not really making any new discoveries here. And then I just do this so they're waterlogged slabs. And then that way you still get the benefit of the farmland, and then you don't have the weird air gap that you get when you chop that one single pixel off of the farmland, well, the grass into farmland. And then you just do this, and then everything is all set. And I think there's only like one other spot over there that I need to change. I've got the one that was right here, so hopefully everything works out. Let me see, is it? Oop, okay. I'm trying not to trample all my crop or farmland, but it should be, yeah, right up here. So we'll just do the same thing here. Oh, and then there's this one, I guess. So I'll just, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. I will just grab some water from here. And yeah, you're going to lose some stuff, but it's not too big of a deal. I need to go back and get some dirt so I can fill this in. I might go in and take all of the stuff from this cave here, just like a quick little adventure. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's just fill this in, and then let's get an infinite water source going right here under these. I'm just gonna start by doing one like this, and then one like this, and that way we don't have to worry about anything. And let me just tear this up. And then on this side, I'm just going to do a little bit of a fence right here. Just something to break it up and bring it over here. We're going to have some gaps in it, of course, but just something that makes it look nice, you know? Something that adds a little something to the build. You know, we're working on the fence, but it's kind of in disrepair, you know. The farmer's just been having some trouble or something like that. And then here, I'm going to start by just planting some water blocks. This one will probably be less organized than the other one. I'm more focused on just getting things planted in this little area. So let's run over here and grab ourselves some more water, and then we can continue on with the farm. I think I'm just going to speed it up because, again, we're probably at the 45-minute or so mark here, and I want this to be a section of the video, but I don't want it to be the entire video. So we'll take a look and we'll see what happens. And then instead of beetroots here, because beetroots are kind of useless and I honestly hate them as a crop, I'm going to just make this some wildflowers and some nice just terraformed areas with maybe some hidden lighting in the future. Everything here we can just, again, plant beetroots. It's not going to be anything too fancy. I don't really like these. They're terrible for a food source. They're fine for trading, but the yield is only 1 beetroot per matured crop. And I don't know if you can fortune 3 the beetroots themselves. It's worth a try, but I mean, even then you still get 2 times more of the seeds than you do the beet. So it's kind of a useless crop in Minecraft, in my opinion. But, you know, anywhere we can get some free emeralds, and the plant itself looks nice, so we can just leave them, and we don't even have to waste the time of harvesting them. And then I think the last part of this area is going to be the wheat, which we'll take care of. I'm going to dig out my trench and just make it, you know, palatable for wheat so that they can grow. And then we'll move on to the farmhouse. And then from there, hopefully we'll get to move on to this. I'll have to see what time we have left. But I think if we don't, then we'll do that next episode. All right, I have made the executive decision to speed things up because we got about like 10 minutes left and we've done a good portion of work here. We just need to build the house real quick. Ow, can you stop it? Okay, thank you. We just need to build the house real quick and then we'll continue on with the rest of this. But then we could also, you know what, instead of rushing it, we could just take our time and do this. I honestly think I want to work on this some more. You know, I think it would be something nice. You know, we can just enjoy. Hey, did you just trample my crops? He did, the bugger. None of that around here. Oh, I got some seeds. But yes, so I'm going to fill out these seeds and just keep planting, and then we'll build the house and we can go from there. Again, I don't want to rush this build, but it is Tuesday night and I want to make sure that I've got a video for Wednesday because this week I'll be a little tight on time just overall. Excuse me, sir. Did you just trample my crops? Get your flea bags out of my farm. Also, why are there so many bats in the air? Did they come out of the cave? I'm not too sure. But let's work on our house. I don't want to rush it because I think it would be a disservice to rush it. And I think that we can build something really nice up here. I might need to pull this hill back just a little bit, but we also have a ton of dirt. So I'm not 100% sure. But this is definitely where I want the house to be. You know, the question is, I guess up here I can level out to have like animal fields and then, well, animal pastures, not animal fields. But here I can level this out just a little bit more so we're not as crunched because I want to build a nice house for today. I think this would be great overlooking the whole area of the Winchester port. Sorry about that. I had to take a breath in the middle of my talking. You know what? I've decided that I'm not going to rush this farm. We're going to build this the old-fashioned beanin' way. Let's hop into the segment that is building the house. Now, what we have here is a blank slate to work with. I think I want to have a pathway that just goes maybe 3 wide here so that we have a little more space here. And then I just want to bring this around eventually up to a door. Now, I'm thinking, well, I could do ranch style and it'd be fun to do. I have to remember that this is going to be in the theme of this generally. So we'll make kind of like a nice little farmer's cottage. I think to begin, I'm going to start with a frame and then we'll move on to some other, well, just auxiliary buildings. I think we should have a little, maybe a little tower here, but I'm going to start by opening the framing here. So, well, framing. Okay, so I also want 1, 2, 3. Let's have this for a porch, and then we'll do this 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Okay, that way we can have a few. I would like a single door here, and then back here we'll do 1, 2, 3. Boom. And then 1, 2, 3. Boom. Is that correct? Nope. Well, yes, it is, but let's see. Then I guess in this case, we'll just do 1, 2, 3, boom. And then we have enough space to keep our farmhouse here. So that's good. We'll go over here. And then on this side, we're going to bring it in just by 1. And then we'll do 1, 2, 3, boom. And then do another 1, 2, 3. And then maybe 1 out. Maybe. I'm unsure. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. And then 1 right here. And then we'll do, I think we can have 1 right here. This can be the door. Right? Yeah. Well, actually, we can just do that. And that way, we've got some space here. But I would like this to be... actually, that's okay. I think I like this. And then so here we'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be a very simple house. And I don't really want to do anything too crazy with it. It's just going to be one story. It's going to be enough to make it look cozy, but also not enough that, like, not large enough to where it dominates the hillside. Because in this build, the hillside is the main attraction. The house is just something that we'll add on top, you know, and it's kind of like a little rancher's house. You know, the farmer isn't exactly going to be swimming in money because, unfortunately, you know, they didn't get paid much in these times. But we could do a nice little cozy looking house. And then for this area, I'd like to do just standard logs like this and then strip them. This is my go-to look for some smaller, cozier houses. And I think this looks good to me. There we go. And the only thing I wish we could have is just like a little like straw roof, but that's all right. And then here, in case we need to, we'll leave this as a double, and that's all the birch I have, so I'm gonna have to harvest more. But you can kind of see where I'm going at. I think bedroom will just be right here, so something like that. You know, just kind of recessed off into the corner. Very small house, very, very cozy vibes, you know. Let's see how many times I can say cozy. Let me go get some more birch here, and let me actually plant these trees on this area just so that we have a few. And I could also just go to the tree farm and use the wood I harvested there. I think I'll do that. That's probably the smarter thing. Okay, back at this. Let's strip these logs here. Unsure what I'm going to do for the floor in this build, but I think I can just do like cobblestone or something. We have plenty of those materials, and I'm not too worried about anything along the lines of that here. We're just going to continue this, and I think we'll leave some room for windows here. This is going to be a small house, so nothing too crazy going on with this build. Just a nice little cozy cottage. That's what we're going for here. And I'm surprised I didn't match this up to fit that. You think I would, but you never know what goes on inside my brain. And that should clear us up. I did bring this, and I left my stone cutter over there, so I'm gonna have to fix that. But I'm thinking something very small and simple for the roof here. You know, we don't want to do anything too crazy, and I want it to be a low-key roof, but also a roof that is nice in the way that it looks. I'm thinking about like some shallow slope type deal. I think that would be very nice. And then of course we can modify it, but I've got something in mind. Almost like if you've seen the roof of like a pagoda in Japan, similar to that, but not as intense as those roofs are. Oh, and I almost forgot. I would like to have at least one cross beam in here because it just looks nice when you build it like this. And I think we can do that. And there we go. That looks good. Now, while it's not 100% even, you know what? I am going to change this out to match this. There we go. Now, it looks a little uneven and weird, which you would expect from a building like this. I think that's nice. And then we can have some slabs go on up here. And yeah, let me go ahead and make those real quick, and then we'll put the slabs in the ceiling. There we go. Right, so I'm thinking, since it's going to be vaulted, well, not vaulted, but we're going to be able to see these supports, we'll do a section here, a section here, and eventually I'll add lanterns. But for now, I just want to have our little farmhouse. And then we can also add some silos. I did see a comment about that, and I think some silos up here would be perfect. Not so sure about the port, but we can figure something out, you know. I'm never going to say no to an idea, but sometimes I might have to take a second to think about it. So for the floor in here, we're just going to do a very simple foundation similar to mine in the Outdoor Bay area. We're going to put some cobblestone down here and then just mix some mossy cobble throughout. I don't know why I broke that. I can easily just build around it, but whatever. And then we're going to place these randomly as random as we can. We've got about 19 blocks to work with of mossy cobblestone without having to make any new ones. So I would like to kind of spread them out just a little bit, and then also add some texture into this floor. Nothing too crazy, you know, it's a farmhouse, so they're not going to be cleaning their house too much. They're more focused on things like, hey, can we eat food? So we'll do that, and I think that looks okay. Yeah, it looks good for me. And then, just so we don't have any monsters in here while we're building, I'm going to put some torches down here that will be replaced with lanterns in the future. Now, I forgot the stone cutter again. I thought I wouldn't need it, but it looks like I will. Let's take a sleep real quick, and then let's start in the roof here in the morning. Right. Let's begin with this. Turns out I didn't really need to make anything new. I'm thinking for here, we can just have a simple roof, and then here we'll go out just a little bit, and maybe even build something like this. Now, I'm trying to figure out how I can build up here. So we might need to scaffold up and work on the roof shape. I know a lot of my viewers enjoy when I do roofs because it helps them make them look a little more realistic. So I'm not going to skip any of this. Let's see. So if I wanted to do, no, it would have to be, we need to do something like this. Right? And then right here. Oh, what the heck? Oh, okay, I see what's going on here. Yes. So this needs to be the lowest portion, I think. Or can we do it like this? Yeah, okay. Huh. Interesting. Right. So I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do here. What I'm trying to do is have it just curve up just a little bit. And we'll have one right here. And then one right there. I think that's correct. And then if we do one like this. Oh, yep, this is what it'll be. Oh, well, it's not very fun. Well, no, because, oh, okay. That's interesting. Maybe I should stick with stairs? Question mark? This might take a second. Okay, so let's try it with stairs at the bottom because that will cover the whole log. Or not log, but, well, yes, log. And then we'll do maybe that. Because what I'm going for is just like American Ranch style. You know, something small, nothing too crazy. Okay, and I've obviously messed up with this. Right? No, it should be like that. Okay, good. And then we'll do something like this. And that's still not right. How is that not right? What? I must be oh, okay, I see. I see what I did wrong. Silly beanin'. It's this. There we go. Now that's correct. Good grief. Okay, so for this, excuse me, sir. For this section, what we'll do is we'll have something small go like this, and then we'll do something like this. So it just slopes up slightly. Get out of here. I think that is correct. And something like that. And then the simple little block right there. I'm going to strip it even though it doesn't need to be. Sir, can you get out of here? And how does that look? Is that like... Okay, that does go up like I wanted it to. It's not that good. How are you still alive? Or are you a different zombie? What the heck? Okay. Now what the heck? What's going on over here? You know what? We're just going to do a normal roof. I guess we'll just have to keep this as... Nope. Okay. Yeah, we'll just do a normal pitch on this side. Oh, I put slabs there. Duh. Because I know that it should be something like this. And then at the very end, it should be slab here. Right? We've got it even on both sides. And it should be one like this, one like that. I think we just don't have enough space. Like if I just do... Yeah, we just don't have enough room. Oh, that's okay. Then we can switch to having just this as our roof. But we can have slabs on the other side because I don't want it to be too steep. I want it to be just a nice, simple roof here. And we'll do a normal pitch on this side. I know I wanted to be original, but it seems a little harder to do that at this scale. This is a very small scale. And then we'll do just a small pitch here. And that looks good. And then let me put some birch here. There we go. Strip that. Can put a torch right here after we eat some fish. Put those there. And I believe we'll just have one right here and one right here. Good. Then we'll just do a little bit right here. And then on this side over here, I think I'm going to do just a very gradual slope on like this direction, on this axis. So it'll be facing that direction. So this will be perpendicular to it. There we go. Very simple house. And I think I'm going to leave it like this on this side. For here, since I want to have just like a front porch, we'll take these away. No, we'll keep them. Because I need them to I need them to match up. And then I guess in this case then we'll use stairs for this lower bit. And then we could just leave this undone. It looks weird, I know. But when you think about it, it's actually correct. And then in this spot, we'll do a simple roof like this. And then it will follow up from here, like so. And then I can just bury that. And then put a block right here. I think that looks good so far. Yep. And then we'll put one here and then one here. I'll strip that, put that here to match it, strip that. And then should be just as simple as, okay, yes, this is one of these. So what I'm going to do in this to save is just put these as the top slab, which everyone does. I think, unless you're me, or unless you're not me, then you might not do it. But who cares? And then here I can do this with another block, and that will solve this little debacle. Well, it's not really a debacle, is it? No. And then we'll just copy this all down here. Oh, did I remember to put... Let me put a torch down here. There. That way nothing will really spawn up here. That looks good. Oh, and then we got to do one more here. This will be the top of this portion. And that should take care of it. Good. See, a nice simple farmhouse roof. And then we can come down here and bring out our porch just a little bit. Now, in some cases, I think it's okay to do... Ooh, we can do pillars right here for the porch. Oh, hold on. There we go. Like, in some cases, it's okay to do a roof like this because this kind of captures that, like, American, just older ranch style house. And then I'll do this to make it consistent. And then we'll put these here. And then put these here. And then for the porch, I'm just going to bring it out by 3. There we go. And then I guess I'll use some slabs here just because we have the funds to. Plus, a farmhouse like this would most likely have a porch that is wood. And then, yeah, we can go ahead and fill this in as well. Now, this one wouldn't have a sloped roof. It would just be an extension of this, maybe a slope at the end. But overall, we would just have something like this. And that way, we can sit on the front porch, enjoy some iced tea, and then go about our day on the farm. Now, let me just outline this with some torches. Ooh, yes. Well, that's okay. I was like, we're going to have to do some work here, but that's fine. And we'll keep this just simple like that. There's a nice little house. And don't worry, that's not the entire thing. We've still got some more detailing and stuff to do. Okay, I definitely goofed this side. I don't know what I was thinking, but that looks like it fixed it. Let's put some torches here. And then I'll put one right up here because these will all be replaced by lanterns. And it's good to have some light. What? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go get some more blocks because, well, we need glass. We'll need some bone meal, and then we'll need some stairs. And then I don't think I'm actually going to have a bed out here. I think the inside is just going to be empty. Eventually I'll fill in the interior, but I'm not going to have a villager living out here because I think all of my villagers that I want to trade with will live in that wall. Although I could have one guy out here living. We'll see. You know, let me know if you want me to have a villager out here. He'll be very lonely, but he'll have a great view. I also planted some trees around here, so now we've got some coverage there. And yeah, I think it looks good. We'll also need to finish planting this out before we finish today, but that's something I can do easily. And I'm thinking path-wise, let me take care of this while I can up here. I'm going to have just a 3x3 path like I've been having that comes like this and then gradually works its way over here. So I'll do 3. I know this is kind of semantics at this point, but I want to make sure I'm sticking with my design that we've come up with. Oh, great. It's raining. Well, that's fine. Now for here, I think I can try and do a quick path like so. It's going to look like this and then No, I did that wrong. Should look like this and then that. And then this right here is path. Did I get that right? I did not get that right. What is it? Hold on. Ah, there we go. That got it right. And then we'll just meander on over here. Oh, I don't actually have to do that. Although I probably should. Just go back right here. There we go. Now I've just got a nice little pathway. It does look a little weird, I admit. Maybe I should just curve it that way. Let me try that. Well, It's not perfect, but it's turn. It's technically correct, but what happens is it just looks weird because I'm going directly into this area. Actually, yeah, that's fine. I'll fix it later. Or I'll just make it look like there's some more details around here. We can fix this just by doing a little fence like that. And then adding some of our silos over here. And then bone mailing some areas out here. Maybe doing some bushes and things like that. So let me go get those materials and then we'll be good to continue building. All right, let's get this show on the road and finish up this little house here. For the most part, we're going to just do the exterior like I said. We'll put some stairs in here. You know, this is my typical style that I use. Nothing too fancy. It's just when I want a quick little house to put up. There we go. Why did I put this here? What the heck? No, you should... Oh. Okay, you know what? Here. We'll just put this dirt right here. And then we'll do some exterior detailing, which will be fun. That's always fun for me. And then, where is the last window? There it is. Over here. There we go. It looks good. And then we've got plenty of glass as well. That should help seal this house off. We can put, I suppose, a crafting table in here or so. Doesn't hurt because we'll likely just be putting chests in this house. You know, nothing crazy. I think on episode 40, I'll go ahead and like detail this whole inside. But for now, we'll just throw up the structure, make it look decent, and then call it a day in terms of that. So here, I would like to have... See, I'd like to have our silos over here. So that way we can put them on this area. In this section, I want our well. Actually, yeah, no, our well should be over here. We'll put our well relatively close to the house. Let's see, can I do... Okay, yeah, we'll put it like right here. This can be our well, and it'll just be a water trough of sorts. I could also do... You know what? To make it more realistic of a water trough, let's do this. Let's do a 3 wide... Oh, nope, don't want that. A 3 wide infinite water source. Boom. 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 And then, let's see, what can I do here? I don't really want this to be grass. Yeah, we can do birchwood for the floor. Sure. Seems good to me. That'll be our water well, or water trough, and we can have just some... Oh, took my shovel. There we go. Just a little roughen up around this area because we'll have a decent amount of traffic going here. I'd also like to build just a small lean-to sort of structure right here that we could use to build or to house some horses in case we ever visit for a long time. Because the thought here is that if I have this, then we'll be okay to build, you know, we'll be okay to stay here and let the crops grow, because we're going to need these to grow, but we obviously probably won't be able to have them grow over there, and we'll need to hang out here a little bit. I am going to venture up here and grab a cherry blossom because I think that'll be a lovely addition. But first, let's build ourselves just a little shack here. Nothing too crazy. Again, I have to... Ooh, hold on. This could be a great way to build ourselves a little horse stable. Let's see. How does this look? You know, I think that's good for the back. Let's do this. And then on the front, we'll have fence posts and spruce slabs, potentially. Maybe. I kind of want this area to age. So we could do copper slabs with dark oak fence. Let's try that out. Let's see how that works for us. And actually thinking about it, if I want to put horses in this, I should probably take this up by 1. And you know, I'm going to move this out by 1 as well. That way we don't have any interference with our roof here. Hold on. Let me just move this like so, and then put you there. Good. And then we'll bring this up by one here. So let me just get to this level. And that will be the back of our little lean-to for our horses. You know, nothing too crazy. We got some space, but nothing's crowded. So let me grab the other stuff. And I think I'm gonna thin these trees out just a little bit. I think I'm gonna get rid of any of these short ones because I like that these ones provide some shade, but I feel like these shorter ones might construe the view a little bit. Like this area, that's fine. This is fine. We'll get rid of you. And then we'll just grab these extra leaves here. There we go. Keep that one. Maybe get rid of this one. And then up here, we've got a few that are way too close together. So we'll put that like so, and then get rid of this one. Some of these are more of decorative, like reforestation trees. So like down here, I can get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, and not feel too bad because I did plant these just a little too close together. And so we've made like mega canopy over here, which is not something I really want. I mean, that one was so close it even registered as one tree. So not too good, but what can you do? You can just chop them down and then replant them later. Okay, let's see if we can make ourselves a nice little horse stable. Shouldn't be too much. All we need to do is go 1, 2, 3. Oh, and they attach. That's perfect. And then 1, 2, 3. And then here we can have our gate for the horse. And then here we can have our main roof support. And I guess we can also misplace a ton of blocks. Let me get this dirt right here. And then we can also begin on the roof. Not going to be anything too fancy. Just something that's nice like this. And oh, that's perfect. We've got the right amount of overhang off the bat. And then let's see. I was gonna say, do I want to have one of these going on? And the answer is yes. And what I meant by that is overhang. I know I could be a little more descript, but you know me. Let's do this. And then the one thing that's kind of hard about these is knowing when you want to do the final part. I think this is actually fine. Yeah, it's perfect. That's all I wanted. Just a nice little shack for our horses. Admittedly, it does look a little weird. It could be a little longer, but we'll dwarf the size of this with some... Oh, okay. But we'll dwarf the size of this with some just, you know, trees and things like that. So we'll have these placed here. And that's just a nice little horse stable lean-to type deal. I wish we could do like these in one sheet, but unfortunately, this is kind of what we've got in terms of roof. So, yeah, that's all. Let's see. I think that's good. Here we can make our pond. And how am I going to do this? I guess I'll do it like this. And then we'll have just a longer pond. Yeah, something like this. And then we can have this. Nope, not like that. Not like that. Yeah, we can curve it out right here. That's not really curved out, is it? There we go. I don't need anything too crazy, but I think that's okay. And then let's go get ourselves some water. Unfortunately, I think most of the water is all the way down here, so let me cut and grab it. And I just realized I could just dig up one of those wells that I have covered under the farm. I did all that for nothing, but we actually did get a little bit of a boost in resources because I grabbed some leaves that we can sprinkle around this hill right here. The plan is to make this just a really nice lush hill with some grass and some andesite sprinkled throughout it. You know, make it a nice little safe haven for plants because we're welcoming of plants here. Let's see. I think I can get some right here. Yes, I can. Thank you. And I will make sure to return. Nope. Okay. Well, I figured that would happen. Let's return this right there. And that's good for me. Let's put this in our trough, and then we can start filling out our pond. I will need to get our... Nope, that's not what I wanted. I'll need to get our cherry blossom trees going too. But for now, we'll just do this. And that should have created an infinite water source. It did. Oh, and I need to find some firefly bushes. Yes, that's another thing I'd like. Let me dig this portion. Let me dig this port. Let me dig this part out. Good grief. And this is my good helmet. Good. And normally I stick to the block buffer in our ponds, but in this case I'm just gonna leave it like this. I think it'll help. So we won't have a little block buffer down here. And then just do that. Oh no. There we go. Hopefully this turns these into source blocks down here. There we go. That should turn them into source blocks. Let's run over here and actually first we can plant down a bush like that. Actually, I'm going to leave it one tall so that we can see. And then we'll just do some bushes like that. And we can put hidden lighting around these bushes in the future, but right now I don't have any glowstone on me, so it's out of the question for that. I think I used it all in the warehouses. I was also hoping to get a bee hive to spawn on one of my trees. I don't think that happened, so if I find one, I'll definitely try and grab it. Ooh, and I should definitely grab these hay bales so that we can have a little bit more decoration up about the top of our farm. And I should also plant some trees up there around the house. I'm going to do that after we get all the details settled. All right, that should be enough hay bales. Well, let's just grab this whole lot. Glad I have my hoe for this. This is the first time I've had my hoe for hay bales in the village. So I've got our little tree planted there. I'm going to plant another one right here. And of course I grab my flowers. Can't go without those. I'm going to plant just a few trees over here. I don't want to go too crazy. I think actually I just want the one right there, and then maybe like a spruce tree, or not a spruce tree, a birch tree right here. Maybe just another birch there, and then some oaks scattered about our land. The thought here is that most cases in prairie regions slash just farming regions in America, you have large clearings where the fields are, and then you have some trees around the house. Most of the time, this is to act as a windbreaker, but in other cases, it's just what happens. They grow there. So we're going to just have a few trees sparsely planted throughout this hill. Nothing crazy. And I think that'll be fine. You know, we want to preserve this view, but we also want to make it look like there's nature. This is mainly going to be bushes. You know, we'll have some bushes like this and some, well, just more bushes scattered throughout here. I could possibly do one or two trees down here. We've got the space for it. So we'll do that. And then we'll just add more bushes over here. And then we can do maybe a larger one here. And then we'll add, well, yeah, just bushes. Now, if any of you are Corellis fans, you know he loves bushes, and especially with this texture pack. Well, not texture pack. Well, it's technically a resource pack, but it's literally just like vibrant bushes or something like that. All it does is add these little leaves to it. And I'm pretty sure there's an add-on for that in the Microsoft store as well. So we'll just put some bushes out here. Then we'll just continue planting. I think something like this mixed with some andesite walls scattered throughout here and just some andesite would look really good. Now here, don't want to go too crazy, but we'll just add some more bushes just down here. and so on and so forth. And that's about all I have for the bushes. But I think that's a good mix because we'll bone meal things in here. And then I'll make sure to potentially add some more leaves because some of these smaller bushes, actually, no, they're fine. I think they're fine like that. I might do like a 2 wide one right here. There we go. Don't want too many of the small ones, but it's good to have them. And then we're also going to fill this in with bone meal so that these all grow. So let me go get some more materials for this hill, and then we can continue on with that side. That's going to be the silos. Yes. So far, so good. Everything's looking good. Okay, let's go for some of these nice little landscaping tricks I like to use. We're just going to make some, I guess, boulders out of this stuff. And yeah, that's about it. That's really all you do. You just kind of place these in a certain manner, and you can even use some of these to just give yourself some nice little touches. You don't want to stick them where they can connect to a wall because then that'll look a little weird. But outside of that, you can just put any boulders you want right here. You can have them, connected to this. Something just to make it look nice. And then I guess I didn't really put any bushes or anything here. So we can just give the zombie a little boulder to look at down there. You can also use stairs for some boulder textures, something like that. Some weird little spots. We don't have too many boulders left, so let me just maybe put one right here. Make it like a nice little rock pile. There we go. And then I'll do like one here. And then maybe one or two over here. Yeah, we'll do one like this. And then you can put our little blocks over here that'll poke through and just kind of add some color to this hill and make it not just green. And then eventually we could add lanterns to them as well, and that would make them look nice. So we'll have that. And then up here, just a little bit of fence action. I'm going to try and get rid of these small ones just because I want taller trees. And if they come out small, well, we'll just chop them down. Shouldn't be a tree there anyway. That looks good to me. And then let's place, of course, some of our flowers here. Oh, let me sleep. But we can place some flowers and then some of the hay bales as well. Hay bales, obviously, I'm thinking having them close by the house. Maybe some right here. Oh, we could even have some on our porch. Oh, maybe not right there. But we could have one like that. And then we could have a few right here. Not like that. Don't want it to grab on. There. And then you can even just have some laying about right here. And then like one or two scattered throughout. Well, no, that'd be kind of dumb. Why would you have hay bales like right here? And then just another stack right there that looks like it'll do good. And this little area is looking nice. I think we'll just have to plant our little flowers here. We can just plant them all around this pond area. Don't want to go too crazy. But give ourselves some pink flowers, some little bunches. And yes, this is cool. And then I'm going to save some for this hillside as well. Always good to have some nature-y things. But when it comes to nature, it is fun when you can terraform and detail to make the area look good. I think that looks nice. Give us some color on the hill. Nothing too crazy. Looks like our trees are coming in good. Oh yeah, this is a nice little area. And then again, our silos will be right here. I think we'll have 3. Let's see, 1, 2. No, we'll need 4. Okay, we'll need 4 silos. So 3, and then we'll make ourselves a bone meal farm as well. So we're going to need some redstone equipment, but that's very minimal. We'll need chests and hoppers. So yeah, But everything's looking good so far. Once we add the hidden lighting and all of that into here, it's going to look amazing. But I like this. I like this a lot. And I did want to just focus on this one area, today. I think it's nice. I think we can plant some trees right here. I'm not too sure what we're going to put, so I'll just plant trees. You can always do that. Make it a little foresty. And then we'll get our stuff for the next segment, which are the silos and all of that. Okay, so I've got some copper smelting over in our super smelter area. But most importantly, I have bone meal and the stuff for our farms out here. Now, let's go ahead and just bone meal this area. Now, I am not ashamed to be a bone meal spammer. I know some people will say it doesn't look good, but I will say otherwise. I believe that bone meal makes the landscape look good. Now, you can have too much of something like this, but in my opinion, if you don't want to have just flat ground, this is the easiest way to do something. I also brought some shroom lights so that we could get some hidden lighting going, and we'll put these under the bushes so that there's dang it so that there's some light out here. I think in most cases I'm just gonna keep them up towards this top area because that's where I don't want the monsters. And then in the lower area, we can figure out what we'll do with them. Like dang it, I did it again. I got to remember that I don't have silk touch hands. Let's see. Let's throw one right here. And then we'll throw just this dirt in front of it. And then right here, we can put another one. And then there we go. And then I might drop the last one up by our house right here. And let's see, do I have one that's like, I do right here? Yes. I don't want one that's close to the water. I want one that's in the land. There we go. That looks nice. And then we'll just bone meal this. Oh, and I can add torches to these, give us some more lighting options up here. There we go. Nothing too crazy. And then on this section, we're just going to bone meal the crap out of this hill. And then if I need to, I can always add some torches on top of these little posts here. Oh, okay. I was like, what happens if I do this? Not much. But doing this will just add to your Minecraft landscape. It's a way of breaking up the texture of a hill. And it's spots that I'm not really going to walk in. So we're just going to fill it up with plants. I'm going to have obviously some plants around here, and we'll have some plants back here. But in this case, we're going to walk a little bit. And can I? Oh, I can. That's perfect. And I think I figured out what looks weird about this. It's really just that it goes too high, too fast. But in reality, that's kind of all I can do. So we'll just leave it like that. I'm sure it'll grow on us. And again, we'll just continue bone mealing this area. And then this hill down here. Get some bone meal on that so that it looks like this is a very fertile farm. We got very fertile land. Lots of high crop yields and things of the sort. Over here, since we don't have any torches on the ground, I'm going to do this and then just bone meal that section. And that looks so much better. I love it. Of course, I'm going to do a panoramic at the very end of the episode of what we built out here. But this looks good. I mean, just like the low, moody lighting, the fireflies around here. I think this is a very good farm build. And this is what I love about building and focusing on one thing in my episodes. Okay, I'm going to get rid of you because you are in direct violation of the seeing where we're working clause. Let me sleep, and then let me turn this part into just another grassy hill, and that way we can build our we can build our stuff right now. We don't need to wait. So what we're gonna have is we're gonna have 5 silos in total. We can have one right here, So we'll have one right here, and then we'll have another right here. And then we'll have, let's see, how many do I have in between this? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We'll have one right here. Why do I have a tree growing there? And then, you know what? We'll even have one over here. I know. 1, 2, 3. It might look weird, but that's okay. So these are going to be our main silos where we store items. And then I think right here we can have the small silo. We'll put that right here. So that way we can have a good balance. And what we're going to do with these, for this one, actually, I'm going to put one right here. And then for this one, what we'll do is we'll put our... Oh, stop that. We'll put our composter here. We'll build up some scaffolding. And then we'll put a chest. Well, with a hopper. We'll put a hopper here. And then a chest on top of this hopper. And that will give us our bone meal farm sapling. Because let's be real, we're going to need a lot of it. And then, silo. And then right here, we're going to put one like this. One like that. One like that. And one like that. That way, we can put chests like this. And this is what we're going to do. You know, they're going to be a little long. This is going to be sticking out. And then we're just going to copy this for each time on the silo. And we'll do however many we can. But the main thing here is that we build our... Oh, I thought I could get that. Build our silos in a manner that is A, tall, and B, functional. So we'll do one here. Then one here. One here. And then one here. And what this does is it gives us plenty of storage because we're going to need it. Because with fields this size, if I harvest ones, I mean, these are going to fill up very fast. And I want them to be taller than the house, you know. It's a farm. The focus is on the field and the agricultural builds around it. And it looks like we'll have the perfect amount of items to finish our silos here. Now that's all that I want to do in this section, I suppose. Well, section of land. We're not done with the video. And then we're going to encase all of these in copper. Now, we can make it look like, you know, this is a well-traveled area. We can just do this because, I mean, realistically, we can't really have too much organization out here. Just because it's going to be very just... we're going to walk on it. Okay? So I think that looks good. And I think, like I said, I'm going to replace some of these blocks with dirt. And I might even pull them back just a little bit. Let me see. There's... yeah, we'll pull these back and then replace them with dirt. I think that works good for me. And again, these are all going to be encased in copper. So I am not too worried about fashionability. Now, this is what your system's going to look like. You can pause it and you can copy it if you're copying the build. But these are what our silos will look like. And I might need to extend this out a little bit, but I don't think I will. I think we'll be okay. And you know what? Let's take these and let's make some more boulders. We'll put some here. And then we'll put 1 or 2 here. Like this. You know, something to break up the texture. I'll put 2 here. Perfect. Oh, man, this is looking nice. I would really love to see how this looks. Well, we'll just have to wait until the flyover. So, let me go get the other things I need. Let me get the copper. I'm going to try and use those slabs that we have to begin with because we've got a ton of them. And I feel like we can build some good stuff. But, oh, you can't see the entities from here. But that's okay because it won't matter. We won't need to load them anyway. but you can see the build, and look how pretty that area is. Sometimes it's just nice to have a beautiful build in your world, you know, and it's very simple, but I'm glad I spent the time on this because it looks really nice. And I think in the long run, we'll come back here on the tours and be like, man, this is amazing. And then we'll look at what we're currently doing and then we'll be like, wow, what went wrong? No, our builds are only going to get better from here. This one, the focus is on the landscaping instead of the building. Everywhere else, we'll focus on the building. I don't know. It's just nice to have builds like this. Now, I've thought about it, and if I really want to build another area here that's going to be industrial, I should save these copper blocks because these are for roofing. They're not for building. I'm going to go stand by my furnace in Outdo Bay, and we'll let that copper finish up because I want to make sure that these are built correctly. And I also want to make sure that we have roofing materials for when we decide to do more industrial builds down here. Oh, that whole area just looks delightful. And I'm currently getting attacked by skeletons. Nope. Stop. Quit it. The knockback isn't really helping, but I guess, ooh, I don't want you around me. Don't blow up. I just want to get to my farm. I'm just a peaceful farmer. Oh, I could have got a record. Hey, get out of there. Okay, cool. Shoe and die. Good. All right. Minor inconvenience aside, let's take this. Let's get some more bone meal. I know it's not enough for what we're trying to do here, but it could be a little bit of progress. But I was trying to get a look at my farm here and see how it looks at night. It looks like the shroom lights are, they're not doing too much. But that's good because I want kind of subtle lighting. And outside of that torch, I think everything is subtly lit. This is a really good spot, and I think I'm going to light up this path just a little bit more on the way up. And that way we can have some safe travels as we get up to here. So let me put one here. Let me put one here. Let me put one here. And then let me put a few here. Let's see. We'll just put a torch right here because we already got that there. We'll put one here. And then let's put one right here. Good. So now we've got a semi-lit path. Again, the shaders diminish the lighting. So it is probably safe up this path. But I love this just dimmed lighting over here. Let's see what we've got going on up here. Things look good for lighting. We can add one right here. And then over here, let's just add like one or two. That way we can just make sure things are lit up. And I'm going to light up the outside of this house as well, because spiders like this like to hang out here. And that's a no-go for me. So we'll put some torches on the outside. There we go. I think we've got one where we can have it. And now it's just a nice little area. And then in the morning, we'll build our silos. I was going to say scaffolding, but that was the wrong word. Now, hopefully I have enough copper here. I think I should. That's not how this will be. We're going to do a silo like this. And then put a torch here. And then I guess torches all throughout here. This is just like with the chest. We're going to copy everything as is from here. We've got our silos. I've done this before. It is in my another Minecraft Let's Play series. It's very old. And I think it's like the 16th or maybe 20th. 16 to 25. It's in that range, but it's the 20th video on my channel. So it is quite old, but I think it still stands. Now, this is a very good silo design that I found because they look like nice silos. They age and they also function. So, I mean, you can't really complain when you have all of those combined. And then here, yep, I'm just trying to make sure that I match everything in terms of height, dimensions, anything like that. And I think I'm just going to take these up one by one. That should be fine. I should have enough for completion. I'm not sure. Maybe on the outside and the front I might have some issues, but I don't think I will. Oh, but we also got this one here. Yeah. Well, we can do this and then put this here. This one's going to be a little bit shorter, but just the same in terms of construction. So there we go. I goofed that, didn't I? Yeah. Okay, we got to fix this. Boop. Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, let me just put this ladder here because we're going to need it anyway. And then let me get this chest right here. Okay, that's also not what I wanted. And now we're screwed. All right. Let's build this out. And then let's retry this. There we go. That should fix it. And I'm just going to leave this here because it's already where we need it to be. And then right here, we'll just put silo covers there down to the last hopper. And then we'll put just some stairs or something right here. So it's all covered up. And we can still access the chest. What was that? Okay. I don't know. There we go. And I'm going to put ladders on the back of these so that we can get up to the entry points. Yes, it is slightly annoying that we have to do this, but to be fair, I'm going to be harvesting most of these off of the recording. So, yeah. Not much we can do there. And then I'm just going to need a few stair blocks. So one stack should be more than enough. And we can cap this off literally and figuratively. And honestly, I think outside of some bone meal, we'll be able to call it a day. I'll have to check how much time we have left. But honestly, instead of rushing a build, I would be fine with just taking everything and ending on a good note. Oh, and perfect. We have plenty of items to put in our bone meal farm, which is good because we're going to need that to do the finishing touches on our detailing. And again, I think with Winchester, I'm going to figure out how I can just do this in a modular manner, but also make the connections look natural, because taking care of all of this in one go would be way too much. But doing this, doing that, all of that, and all of these have been really productive if I just do them one module at a time. So one build at a time, focusing on one thing. I know usually I like to build multiple things, but when I was focusing on one thing there, the wall, the bridge, etc., we got all of the details knocked out in one episode with the entire build. So hopefully that reduces my work in detail episodes in the future, but I'm still going to do them because they're very helpful and I like doing them. And then what I'm thinking of for the final area right here with the pathways meeting, I think I'm just going to do like a small little driveway that curves into this main road. This road's going to hook up to that village. It's not going to be connected to anything else except for that village for now. I think in the future we might go in that direction, but this road is mainly just here so that we can get up to the farm. And again, I can't get over how nice this little area looks. All it takes is some plants, some effort, and you've got a beautiful little build. Now for the stairs, all we're gonna do is place these upside down like so. And then we'll go up to the top and place some stairs up here in a similar fashion, but Nothing too crazy. We're going to do this. Place that here, and then we're going to leave these open. Now, I should grab some slabs and keep the one right here closed, but in reality, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm still going to get what I want if we have the slab over this or not. It's more for appearances, and I'd rather have these silos just all look the same with an open top than anything else, because, I mean, look at it. They all look good to me. And now let's go down here. Can I catch the slider? Yes, I can. And there we go. Oh, don't want that. Now this should allow us... Oh, wait, give me some of those. But this should allow us to have some... Okay, that was not where the ladder was. Some extra bone meal to use around the house. And we're just going to go and plant these. And let me put some wildflowers down, because that will give us some more color. There we go. Some nice popping color. You know, you can never have too much of that. There we go. Everything's looking good. And then, yep, bone meal farm's going well. Everything is looking amazing. I'm going to let this cycle out because we've got a lot to work through. And then I think we can call it, well, we have to detail down there a little bit, but I think we can call this section done for today. And I mean, who doesn't want to sit out on the porch here, watch the moonrise and the sunrise, and then just look at the soon-to-be massive city that is Winchester. I mean, it just looks so good. And then the red glow. I like the low light that the shroom lights give off. I'm going to have to harvest more of those in the nether. But, ooh, I mean, look at this area. Just a little cinematic thing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's real good. I'm very proud of this build. Oh, that's the wrong button. Hello. Actually, I don't... There. That's my face. I don't think I've shown it to you recently. So that's my face. If you want to see my whole skin, there you go. Woo. But that's another peaceful screenshot. Good wallpaper, too. And just like that, we are 2 minutes away from hitting our time limit. That's kind of crazy, if I'm being honest. But I'm very happy with how everything turned out today. I hope you enjoyed the episode, too. Thank you for taking your time to watch this video. And I'm excited to do the quick question. We've had some good ones recently. I thought I was going to have time to build a little bridge here, but it might be just filling it in with some dirt. I don't know. Let me know if you want to see a bridge here. It might be a micro build or something like that. You know, we could do just a little bridge. We don't have to... Well, because I want to connect this to this road, but I also want to build a bridge. So, it's 50-50. Whatever we decide to do, we'll do it. But this isn't something where we're unable to build a bridge and fill it in, or build a bridge or fill it in. So our options are pretty limitless. I'm going to leave this tree. I know I said I was going to take away short trees here, but I think that one fits well. Short trees down here don't really matter because they're hillside trees, but I'm really happy with how this build turned out. And I'm glad that instead of trying to rush something at the end over here, I paid attention to up here and just detailed everything out, because now I don't have to come back. I don't have to visit. Everything looks amazing as is. And we now have a steady farm that we can get rid of the one in Outdoor Bay, because let's be real, that farm wasn't really doing much and I wasn't even using it. I think in the future, I'll turn this upper level into some animal pasture, maybe a barn. I'm not sure, but we can figure that out as we go along. Over there would be great for a sugarcane farm, but I have already decided that over there in Outdoor Bay, we're going to have an automatic sugarcane farm. So it's kind of redundant to build one over here. Then again, I'm going to have to build... Oh, we need lily pads for this. The ideas are flowing, but I am going to have to build a bamboo farm and other farms in other places. This will be the primary farm for our whole world because it's just me feeding, but we also have to remember that this will also fuel trade for the agricultural area. Well, for the agricultural hub, sorry. But it's going to fuel trade for that. And I've been saying for how many episodes now that it'll be an agricultural hub, and we just now got our farm. It's what, episode 23? So we got a lot to pick up on. But all of the crops are planted, all of the fields are sown with seeds. I think I'm going to leave that side as is, maybe branch down into there. But as you can see, there's a huge cave right here, and I think it just ends at this mouth. Maybe we can explore it in the future, but it seems like it's just a shallow hole, and I don't really want to have to deal with that. That's a natural feature, and we're gonna keep it like that. We've already got the quarry over there. I'm really excited to see how this turns out in the long run. So without further ado, thank you all for watching. From me personally, before I do the standard outro, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Now let's roll the outro. Aha! Psych! You thought I'd forget about the QQ. Nope! I have it right here. And look at that. You can see right outside into our farm. So it's still visible from the library, which means that we get to enjoy it every day. And since we are on the topic of the designs, my quick question today is related to that. This question comes from Tracy Blood, and they ask, how long have you been playing Minecraft? And of course I have the full question, but the comment goes, quick question, I'm a newbie to your channel. My question is, how long have you been playing Minecraft? Because your designs are phenomenal. And again, I just wanted to answer this because we're on the topic of designs, and it's a good question for people that are new to the channel as well, because I don't really, well, sometimes I talk about it, but I don't really focus on it in our channel. But I have been playing Minecraft for about 13-ish so years. I originally discovered it in about 2009 or so, when it was in like pre alpha on the computer. It was, I think, one of my dad's business partner's friend's kid brought his laptop out to the lake house, and he was playing it, and I was like, what is that? And he was like fighting a zombie and had like a little tiny wooden hut, and you know, all the old Minecraft noises, and he's like, oh, this is a game called Minecraft. I found it, and it's like $20 or something like that. It was, I think it was the same price as is, but way back, like on the dirt screen, like loading screen with the cobblestone block and stone menu. And then I think fast forward to maybe 2010, early 2010, I got to play it for the first time at one of my friend's house. You know, oh sweet, a beehive. But I got to play it for the first time at one of my friend's house, and then I was like, oh, I love this game. And I tried to get it. I actually have an old account from 2010 that I bought the game, but I didn't know, like, I was like 9 or 10. I was 10 at the time, but I didn't know that computers had to have, like, I played on Xbox, so I thought like a computer would just be like an Xbox. I didn't know that they had to have different specs for different games and, you know, different performance. So we had like the old like 2005 family Dell, and I got the game and I tried to install it, and it surprisingly, actually it wouldn't even install. So that was crazy. But that was back when, like, you know, we didn't really have internet out at the lake. It was more of just like roaming on cell service. And then, you know, like we had just moved there for like 2 or 3 years or something like that. I don't know. No, actually, no, it was about from 2009 to 2013 that we lived out there. So a few years. But fast forward to, I think it was 2012 when it came out for the Xbox. And then that's when I really started playing it. And then since 2012, I've been playing it nonstop since then. So well over a decade. And honestly, this is the first time I've actually played like survival consistently. And just like Dallas said in his most recent video that he was talking about, the main drive has just been recording. You know, it's not really the views and the subscribers, but recording a video for Minecraft is one of those things for me that's just fun. It makes it worth playing. If like, I wouldn't have this world if it weren't for YouTube, because again, it just makes it fun. You can include someone on the adventure. When it's just yourself, it gets kind of boring and you can trail off. So it's been off and on, but I haven't gone over probably a span of, I'd say 2 months or so without playing Minecraft in the past 12 or 13 years. Yeah, around that. But hope that answers your question. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Now we can roll the outro. Thank you all for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the video and continue to enjoy the content. Leave a like, a comment, or subscribe if you made it this far, and consider hyping the video if you think more people should know about this channel. A special thank you to our members. If you are a member, you'll receive early access to the videos, a shout out at the end of every video, custom stickers next to your name, and custom emojis, plus members-only Discord channels, and more as the channel scales up. Memberships are not expected, but highly appreciated, and I appreciate all of my channel viewers, regardless of how they choose to consume my videos. This has been Let's Play Minecraft. I'm Beanin. Peace.